Subscribe now. EU Debates.
First of all, let me thank personally Commissioner Marichikj and congratulate him and thank him for all the efforts he has made from the start of his term in order to arrive to today. Without your help and assistance, Commissioner Marichikj, we wouldn't have been able to be here today. I thank you on behalf of our government and on behalf of our people. It is a great honor for me to be here, together with our colleagues from Albania, with whom we spent many days together, and in 2018 and 2019 during the explanatory screening or preparatory meetings, and we are happy to enter the last but most important stage in our path toward the full-fledged membership of the EU. This is a moment that we've been waiting for more than 20 years. The Republic of North Macedonia, since its independence in 1991, has expressed its strategic determination to be a full-fledged member of NATO and the EU, and with entire capacity was committed to reach these goals in addition, despite all the challenges that we have encountered. 21 years after the signing of the Stabilization and Association Agreement, and 17 years as a candidate country, we deserved to be here today, and we start the first screening successfully after the first IGC, thereby starting our path towards a full-fledged membership of the EU. Throughout these years spent in the waiting room, we never stopped strengthening our institutions and administrative capacities, transposing the European acquis that is now 40% aligned. We continue to increase our capacities to translate the EU acquis in Macedonian. Only last year, we translated more than 17,000 pages of the EU acquis. All this helps build the positive dossier of the country recognized by the European Commission. The steps taken by Albania and Macedonia are a firm ground to cope with the challenges that we will come in the process now that we enter the next stage in our accession negotiations. We believe that the new methodology, approved in March 2020, will give a new impetus to the accession negotiations, and it will approve the EU's commitments given in the Thessaloniki agenda and all the declaration that ensued after that. We expect that the new methodology shows its purpose to accelerate the discussion talks, an irreversible transformation of our society in fully functional democracies, same as those of the EU member countries, but also convergence of our economies and decrease of differences that we have with the EU member countries on a regional and state level. Therefore, it is very important for us to commonly understand how to best prepare and respond to this news, especially concerning the preparation of the roadmaps for functioning of the democratic institutions, the reform of public administration, but also rule of law, given the influence of this cluster on the speed of reforms. Therefore, we'd like to propose to organize additional meetings on a technical level with the representatives of our administration and also colleagues from Albania, where your services will be able to present in detail how the new accession methodology will be implemented. Speaking about the screening process, we know that this is a key element of the accession talks, because it will give us a clear view about where we're at and what we need to do in the coming years. The explanatory screening is not something new for our institutions, because we went through this process in a way from September 2018 until December 2019, when your services presented around 8,000 EU member measures for all the 33 chapters. This exercise involved around 2,000 Macedonian state servants. I'm convinced that based on the lessons learned, it will be much easier for us to prepare to update the EU acquis, but it is a challenge that we'll have to work in parallel on the bilateral screening. As a Vice President of the government in charge of European affairs, together with the Secretariat of European Affairs and all the other institutions who are engaged in the coordination of the negotiation process in North Macedonia will aim our efforts to provide a smooth negotiation process in all its aspects by mobilizing the administration, because it is the pillar of this process. In the coming weeks, we will revise the acts for the negotiating structure, which was passed in 2018, and we will make it operational. The main burden of the negotiations will be on our administration, but in line with our pledge for transparency and inclusiveness of the process, we will discuss and involve the civil society in this process, the parliament, and the political parties, etc. Also, we will increase our capacities to translate the EU acquis in Macedonian language, including a linguistic experts and the professional revision of the translated texts. We will continue to update the national program for adoption of the acquis, which takes into consideration all the harmonization plans based on the acquis presented and all the obligations from the accession process. The national program for adoption of the acquis will serve as a basis for the bilateral screening and for preparation of the future negotiation positions. Last but not least, seeing the need to inform the public for the benefits and obligations from this process, we will create processes for transparent and timely communication with our citizens, and we would appreciate the EU support in this field. In the past weeks, we saw how important this approach is. Dear friends, the travel we started together today is not going to be easy. Accession process requires full engagement, but we know we are not going to be alone on that path. We count on the support of the EU Commission and its services as our partners who will advise us on that way. In this sense, we think that it is equally important to have your support through the European Union funds. On our behalf, we will do everything to increase the capacity for IPA funds absorption and other bilateral assistance for support of all the reforms related to the EU agenda. Let me conclude by saying that our pledge to become a full-fledged EU member have never been put in question. I'm sure that once we start with the screening, the motivation and the enthusiasm on both sides will be reinvigorated. We have set an ambitious goal to be ready to join the EU as soon as possible, hoping that the EU will also be ready to accept us and to serve as a catalyzer in this process. Given the current geopolitical environment, this is a step forward to building a stronger and more resilient Europe that will be able to respond to all the challenges united. At the end, let me address the citizens of North Macedonia, because this is broadcast live. Let me say that we start a process that will take a painstaking effort of the entire society. This is a process which is important and not easy, but this is a process that will end with membership of North Macedonia in the European Union. That will make a long-term dream come true, but also of our strategic goal. Therefore, together with all our efforts, let us work towards this goal, because this is the only way to succeed together. Let European North Macedonia live long. Thank you.